number one here in Lautoka.
Gold FM is our favorite radio station here in Lautoka.
Gold FM is number one in Nen.
I love listening to Gold FM in Ba.
We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits here in Suva.
Hear about hot of cola, you immediately think of gold. I'm Josephine Sabi and I love hearing Gold FM.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
On FBC News tonight, decision time for casino project. LTA suspends Empire bus services in Ba. And NFP candidate says she stands for social justice. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. The government will decide next week what to do about 100 Sands Limited due to the continuing delay in the developing of the casino. Acting Prime Minister Ayaz Said Qayyum says the company had asked for time in paying penalties levied for not achieving their construction schedule. Christopher Chand reports.
Last week, a lawsuit was filed in the United States against the casino developers. But that is the least of its worries. As you can see, construction works are not being carried out today. It's been like this for the last month. 100 Sands Limited is now struggling to pay its penalty of $100,000 to the government.
They had paid their fines up till February. They had asked for 2 months break and that they'll start paying us from this month. And I've asked them for a report.
The government issued developer Larry Clonch an ultimatum last October: complete the project or lose the license. The acting Prime Minister says more details will be revealed next week.
But in respect of their ability to adhere to the conditions of the license per se, that is something we are very closely looking at the moment. And as I've told other journalists in Suva, that we'll be making a statement on it within the next 1 week.
Owner Larry Clonch is away overseas and has not responded to questions sent to him. We are now 8 months past opening date of October 2013. Uncertainty surrounding Fiji's first ever casino continues to grow. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
30 employees of Empire Buses in Ba are likely to be laid off if the Land Transport Authority doesn't lift its suspension. The company's buses have been grounded and the owner has been told his fleet isn't roadworthy. Edwin Nund has more.
Officers from the Land Transport Authority handed the suspension notice to Arjit Singh on Tuesday.
We stopped, but then we got calls from the public about school children and others. So we sent the buses, but LTA stopped us at 11 a.m.
We've given them 3 months to try and restore all the defects that was given during the audit. And, they are free to go back on the road once that has been cleared.
Singh says his buses were inspected last Friday. However, he doesn't have any defect notices saying what's wrong with the fleet. Unable to run for the next 3 months, Singh says he'll have to take drastic steps.
I'll have to lay off workers. Just keep a few mechanics to fix my buses, but in the meantime, I still have to make payments. How will I manage? Instead of putting us down, the LTA should be supporting bus owners.
It's clear that when you make a decision to ground a fleet, then there must be some serious problems, mechanical problems especially, and there's no other choice but to ground the fleet.
Singh adds all his buses are roadworthy and have gone through numerous inspections in the last few months. At the time of the suspension, he says only a handful were undergoing bodywork and maintenance.
The roads are really bad in Ba. We sent out one of the buses in the morning and it comes back needing repairs.
These services have been given out to other bus companies that operate on those areas. And there is no problem at all. They are doing a great job. These bus companies, they came in. They are servicing the routes used to be serviced by Empire.
Unadeva confirms Empire buses can resume services within the 3-month suspension once all defects are fixed. Edwin Nund, FBC News.
The Land Transport Authority has handed over all its findings into the Raiwanga bus accident to police. Chief Executive Naisatoinadeva says the investigation involves a lot of people, but it's all now in the hands of police. Vosita Kotewasawasa reports.
About 30 people were hurt in this accident in Kumbukawa, Nasinu last Wednesday. 10 children had fractured limbs. Having spoken to the bus driver, the LTA says they'll now let police do their job.
Already been interviewed by police. We want to talk to him too because we are putting up the report, and it's important for us to also get the side of his story. But at this stage, the findings are from LTA are with the police, so we will leave it at that end with the police, who can comment on the finding or on the report.
Brake failure led to the bus rolling down the hill and landing in a gully. Tunaveva says the LTA is still piecing together the evidence from what they find in the bus.
When we do our own inspection, we would like to really clear all the mechanical defects, either that is to do with the brake, or to do with the steering, or to do with the transmission, or the electrical system. We check everything because you need to confirm that all the major mechanical components are being cleared from any defects. So that is how we check. It's the same in any other vehicle, in any other accident. Point here is you want to zero in to find out which particular area actually contributed to the accident.
Tunaveva maintains that they will make a decision regarding the Raiwanga bus company only after police investigations are over. The bus was issued a defect notice 2 days before the accident. Vasita Kotiwasawasa, FBC News.
Aspiring politician 42-year-old Saini Lembanambo is ready to contest the upcoming general elections. The mother of four, who hails from the Kuilo village in Oneatelao, says her platform is social justice, environmental protection and inclusiveness. Eleanor Tarangaivu reports.
Deciding to become an electoral candidate is never easy, since you will be subject to public scrutiny. For Saini Nambo, it took a few months to consider politics at all, given the current political climate. But it didn't take long for her to settle on the National Federation Party.
I've always been impressed with the NFP and the incredible legacy in Fiji. And only very recently have I become appreciative of some of the principal stands that they've taken. For example, on the 97 Constitution.
Nambo was the manager promotions for Fiji Human Rights Commission from November 2002 to April 2005, and for Greenpeace Australia Pacific from August 2006 to March 2014, with extensive experience in training, communications and journalism. She holds social justice, organizational change and environmental protection close to her heart.
What I will bring are my worldviews, and I can assure voters who are thinking or shopping around for who to vote for that the NFP fully respects social and environmental protection, inclusiveness and respect for indigenous concerns.
After witnessing several governments in power, Nambo says she is still waiting to see concrete changes.
Why am I standing? Okay, as a mother, it's very important for me to do things that show my children to uphold things that are fair and right. As a wife, it's equally important that my husband supports my views and he gives me the space to do that. But as an individual, I become tired of waiting for others to save the day. And that's why I'm standing with NFP.
Nambo adds, ultimately it's the voters who will decide if what she and the NFP are promoting is worthy of their votes. Eleanor Turangaivu, FBC News.
Still to come, regional interest in Fiji's diplomatic training.
Gonga elambasa Mbula FM number 2 na serre.
Ando talita kana borong na Mbula FM number 2 na serre su.
Kau buat tu geraki au reba tu nistima au ando talita kana borong na Mbula.
Bola bina Fiji Mbula FM number 2 singa toka.
Bola bina era roga Mbula FM number 2 tikola.
Mbula FM number 2 na serre.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. A joint task force comprising of the Fiji Roads Authority, Police and Land Transport Authority will address the issue of overloaded commercial vehicles in a new campaign. The campaign will begin next week and continue on a random basis. Savara Tambor reports.
Overloaded commercial vehicles on the roads have been a concern for many years because of the damage they cause to the infrastructure. The joint task force has been formed to address this.
Campaigners to ensure that the safety concerns and the damage that's caused by overloaded vehicles are fully understood by the commercial vehicle operators. I mean, the issue that we face at Naboribori is the same issues that we face all over Fiji.
The campaign will be held at the Naboribori bypass in Tailevu, which was recently the scene of a landslide. The FRA will ensure the site is ready for the operation.
We're just doing some work that we need to on site to upgrade the areas that the LTA are going to use to be pulling the vehicles over and checking them for their weights.
The Land Transport Authority also assured that this is not something new to the commercial vehicle operators.
Every commercial truck or vehicle must always ensure that they carry the load which is right and regulated by the authority.
Drivers are requested to respect the campaign and ensure that loads carried out within the regulated load limits. Drivers will be fined for failing to follow the regulation. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
A unanimous guilty verdict has been returned by the assessors in the human trafficking trial of Inoke Raikandroka and Mohammed Shifa Sangaitu of Suva. Raikandroka is charged with 7 counts of domestic trafficking in children and slavery, while Sangaitu is charged with 2 counts of trafficking in children. They had pleaded not guilty to the charges. Raikandroka and Sangaitu have been remanded in custody until Friday morning for a judgment by Justice Paul Madigan of the Suva High Court. The two are alleged to have forced 3 sisters, aged 16, 17 and 20 years, into prostitution around Suva and Nandi from May to December 2012. Police are now investigating circumstances that led to the death of a woman whose body was found floating in the sea near Nasese Suva this morning. Relatives have identified the deceased as 66-year-old Taraivosa Toka of Tutalevu settlement. Toka went fishing with 2 other women from the same settlement at 10 p.m. last night. Later, her friends left and waited at the seawall for Toka, who wanted to continue fishing. Upon realizing she was missing, they thought she had returned home. They didn't realize that she hadn't returned until this morning. 2 Nandi border police officers are being investigated for allegedly stealing close to $14,000 from the evidence lockup area. One police officer has been charged and appeared in the Nandi Magistrates Court today. Emma Rounds is charged with 3 counts of theft and was released on strict bail conditions. Rounds is also on a travel ban and her case has been adjourned until June 26th. The second accused is likely to be produced in court tomorrow. The alleged theft occurred in April last year. The country's biggest diplomatic training session is underway in Suva. Mikalonga reports that for the first time, the training has included representatives from the private sector.
The workshop at the old Parliament complex in Veuto, Suva has come at a time when Fiji's foreign relations has extended to almost all corners of the globe, together with efforts to deepen relations in the region.
As Fiji embarks in fostering and strengthening international, regional and national relations, it has become imperative that diplomats must have a good understanding of countries' foreign policies, rules of engagement, and importantly, negotiating skills.
Not all those who are trained here will be given diplomatic postings. Their skills and knowledge gained here in the next few days will help them in their respective fields.
It is meant to upgrade their skills so that they can serve Fiji's interests better, because there's a strong push for trade, for investment.
These people, some of them, most ministries now are setting up their own international affairs divisions. Multilateral diplomacy these days does not only involve Ministry of Foreign Affairs. There are people negotiating the MOUs directly with their counterpart.
Fiji's diplomatic training has continued to attract candidates from countries like the Marshalls, Solomon Islands, Kiribati and Tuvalu, among others.
We always had trainers in diplomacy and foreign policy from outside the region, but now we have Fiji.
This is a very important role that Fiji is playing in our region. We understand that Fiji is more developed. It has more extensive experience in diplomacy.
This is the 7th diplomatic training to be facilitated by Ambassador Isekeli Mataitonga, who has identified key areas of foreign relations that need addressing.
After this course, we'll be looking at more specialized courses, which build on people who have done 7 courses, particularly in the area of negotiation, law of the sea, to look at, because those are the major areas, humanitarian law and as in peacekeeping.
But it doesn't end here. Fiji has also offered to take its diplomatic training offshore.
We've made the offer all around. It's on the table. But it's just for them to take it up.
This round of training ends next week. Mikalonga, FBC News.
A woman who'd been begging for the past 20 years is now managing her own stall at the Suva market. Sushila Devi owes it all to the Wheelbarrow Boys Association and the Market Community Police Post, which helped her get started. Josephine Avula reports.
57-year-old Sushila Wati is very thankful of the support she received after begging ever since her husband had passed away.
Now that I'm selling vegetables here in the market, I'm really happy. The corporal had also helped me with a place to sell. He told me not to beg and come and sell at the market, so I did.
Wati was receiving social welfare assistance, but that was not enough.
When I'm sick, there's not even enough money to take me to the hospital. Plus the $60 I get only lasts me for only 3 days.
2-3 days. President of the Wheelbarrow Boys Association, Shone Bakasa, says they gave money from their own pockets to help Sushila start her own business.
The market master came to us and asked if we could have a meeting on how we can help the old lady. The boys were so generous in giving money that they had, so we managed to raise $83.
Corporal Akimungu of the Market Community Police Post says they'll keep an eye on Sushila until she's able to support her own self.
She'll come out from the streets. We will no longer see her on the streets, but we'll monitor her for the whole month, so she can stand on her own and run her own business.
Mu says the Market Community Police Post will continue to help out wherever it can. The Market Community Police Posts have not always been helping the vendors and beggars of our streets, but also help upgrading the lives of our wheelbarrow boys. Josephine Avula, FBC News.
Lovely story there, and Jamie joins you now with the day's sports.
Thank you, Jackie. Good evening. In sports tonight, Fiji Pearls on track to retain PNS after recording its second win today, and Athletics World Governing Body representative here to settle Athletics Fiji saga. Stay with us for the details.
Mirchi FM is #1 in Singapore.
और किसके सुनिए यार, हमारा एक सच्चा साथी है मिर्ची एफएम लंबा साथी.
I love Mirchi FM. It's so hot. देखे में लाल लाल, खाए में हाय हाय. Tangi tauwa में Mirchi FM is hot.
Here at Rugby Town, Singapore, love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Mirchi FM is #1 in Suva. It's hot.
हम वहीं लंबासा में रहता है. तो क्या बताइए मिर्ची एफएम सुनता है.
Mirchi FM, bon julum julum.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Welcome back to FBC Sports. First up tonight, the Fiji Pearls defeated Samoa 50-46 to win their second Pacific Netball Series match in Rarotonga today. It was a tougher encounter than yesterday's 58-36 win over a second-string Cook Islands team. Our ladies hustled down to the wire as Samoa trailed throughout the match. Fiji led the first quarter 14-9. In the third quarter, Samoa came within 1 point of the Pearls, who then sprinted to extend their lead in the dying minutes of the game. Next up for the Pearls is Papua New Guinea tomorrow afternoon. The Athletics Fiji saga has now come down to the point when IAAF official has landed on our shores to find a resolve. Parent body official G. Isram arrived in Nandi yesterday and had first discussions with Western Athletics Club officials last night. Compromise, transparency and fairness is what they're pleading to be heard at the elective general meeting in Suva on Saturday. The EGM was a directive by the IAF, and today ISRAM was to have held discussions with outgoing Athletics Fiji President Albert Miller. Some believe it's a shame that the whole situation has gotten so out of hand.
It's better for the other group to compromise. We are ready. They should come up and invite us, and we will be there in the meeting. But there are certain areas in Athletics Fiji who are just certain people who are sitting in there for their own gain and nothing else. Put our people in there so fairness can be seen by everybody.
This is the first time an IAF official has had to come to our shows to sort out an Athletics Fiji issue. Hopefully it will be the last. Only 3 days remain until the Flying Fijians test against Italy. The Akapusingera-led side is under no illusions as to the challenge that awaits them on Saturday and is building up for fiery encounter. Tsalendau Dakadaka has more from the Fiji camp.
Fiji and Italy have previously met 9 times, with the visitors recording 5 wins. This weekend's clash will be an opportunity for the Flying Fijians to even up the scores in front of its home crowd.
Italy have been a real big improver in terms of world rugby. They've got a really big forward pack that they like using their one-off runners, and so they're going to be really difficult to combat. I know that they've got a pretty exciting back line. They run nice and hard, and so it's going to be a really big challenge for us on Saturday.
The arrival of key players Nemani Nandolo, Napoleon Nalanga and Cyril Limbombo, among others, has improved the team's chances.
I think we've got a lot of talent in the back line. The key is trying to mould everybody together. We've got top try scorers in the UK and top try scorers in France, but we've got to make sure that guys on the inside give them the opportunity to score the tries. So it's about collectively working together as a whole.
There is no telling what Italy will bring to the field on Saturday, but this Flying Fijian squad will be gunning for nothing less than a win to start the international season on a high. Tsalendo Dakavak, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, the Vodafone Fiji Under-20 rugby side is overwhelmed with the crowd support it has received during the Junior World Championships in New Zealand. Officials believe the fans will play a vital part in the team's JWC campaign, especially after the opening loss to Wales.
We've been getting a lot of support from our Fijian community around Auckland. Yesterday there were a lot of Fijian people. Some come all the way from Whangarei, and some come all the way from Hamilton. So that's something really boosts the boost.
Fiji's next match is against France at 3:35 p.m. on Friday, and you can watch it live on FBCTV. That was your sports for tonight. Good evening.
Total Fiji's Wunderpoint terminal is now running on solar energy. The initiative was launched this afternoon, and the company says the idea came from staff to reduce energy consumption. The 67-kilowatt system will supply over 95% of the Wunderpoint terminal's power requirement, and excess energy will be transferred to the Fiji Electricity Authority's grid.
What some people may consider a little bit of a paradox, that here is a fossil fuel company that is now engaging itself or providing renewable energy. Some may think it's a contradiction in terms, but as pointed out, that in fact it is an energy company. And I'm glad that Total has done this, because in fact it's very, very timely in respect of many of the processes and many of the new systems that the Fijian government, the Bainimarama government, has put in place.
And it's weather time with Trish.
That's right, Jackie. Looking at today's map, we had a few scattered showers in the morning for Suva, turning to cloud in the afternoon. Ba had a cloudy morning and cleared later on. As for Savu Savu, cloudy skies all throughout. Nadi, Lotoka and Lambasa had fine weather all day. Today's temperatures. The lowest were Nadi and Savu Savu on 28, Suva and Lotoka were on 29, whereas Ba and Lambasa hit 31. Tomorrow's forecast. Nadi, Lotokambasa, Vusabu and Lambasa will all have fine weather all throughout the day. But Suva, it's always something different for Suva. Fine in the morning but turning cloudy later in the day. For Mariners, a strong wind warning for Kandabu, Vatuira passages, southwest Viti level waters, the Kora Sea and southern Lao waters. Southeast winds 20 to 25 knots and rough seas. Today's photo, this beautiful shot of a pristine stream from Cameron Kumar, shot near Vatu level in Nandi.
Thanks so much for that, Trish. Recapping the top stories, government to make a decision on casino project next week, LTA suspends Empire bus services in Bar, and NFP candidate says she stands for social justice. This week's poll question we're asking, do you feel safe travelling in public service vehicles? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's all from us tonight. Join us again tomorrow evening. Until then, good night.
Today FM is #1 here in Singapore.
We like Today FM in Lambasa. It rocks!
My favorite station in Nandi is Today FM.
Listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks in Subah.
Loto kasi they love today's kid music.
I love Today FM because they play all my songs.
We love Today FM at Vunival Lambasa. Yeah, it rocks!
I love Today FM because it rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.